Swaminarayan, Jai Jai Swaminarayan, Jai Jai Swaminarayan. Swami Maharaj ki jai.
हरि रे सुनिए नर नारी हरिजन, मुझे एक बार तारे सबको कहने का है मन। मेरी मूर्ति रे मेरे लोक भोग और मुख सर्व दिव्य है रे, वहाँ तो दर्शन की है रीत। मेरा धाम है जिसका अक्षर अमृत नाम, सर्व सामर्थ्य रे शक्ति गुण से है अभिराम। अति तेजोमय रे रवि शशि कोटि वारी जाए, शीतल शांत है रे तेज की उपमा नव दी जाए। रहता मैं वहाँ रे द्विभुज दिव्य सदा साकार, दुर्लभ देव को रे मेरा कोई न पाए पार। जीव ईश्वर आदि रे माया काल पुरुष प्रधान, सबको वश करूं रे सबका प्रेरक मैं भगवान। अगणित विश्व की रे उत्पत्ति पालन प्रलय हो, मेरी मर्जी बिना रे किसी से तृण ना तोड़ा जाए। ऐसा मुझे जानना रे मेरे आश्रित सब नर नारी, मैंने तो आपको रे वार्ता सत्य कही है मेरी। मैं तो आपके लिए रे आया धाम से लेकर देह, प्रेमानंद के रे स्वामी ने बरसाई अमृत में। आगे सब सुनिए रे मेरी वार्ता परम अनूप, परम सिद्धांत है रे सबको हितकारी सुखरूप। सब हरि भक्त को रे जाना हो मेरे धाम, तो मेरा सेवन रे करो शुद्ध भाव से हो निष्काम। सब हरि भक्त को रे रहना हो मेरे पास, तो तुम छोड़ना रे मिथ्या पंच विषय की आस। मुझ बिन जानना रे अन्य मायक सब आकार, प्रीति तोड़ना रे मान के झूठा कुटुंब परिवार। करना पालन रे करके दृढ़ सभी मेरे नेम, होकर अति प्रसन्न रे धर्म भक्ति करेंगे क्षेम। बोले श्री हरि रे सुनिए नर नारी हरिजन, बोले श्री हरि रे सुनिए नर नारी हरिजन।
Sonarayan, 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 Narayan, Sonarayan, 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 Narayan, Sonarayan, Sonarayan, Sonarayan.
जय स्वामीनारायण कर।
जय स्वामीनारायण।
सबसे पहले तो थैंक यू वेरी मच, आप थोड़ा टाइम निकाल के हमें।
No, it's my great pleasure, except that I'm really, this is not my favorite subject. When I say it's not my favorite subject, means speaking is not really my favorite hobby. Reading is, but speaking is not.
तो सबसे पहले तो थोड़ा आप अपने बारे में परिचय दीजिए, रिकॉर्डिंग में जिससे आ जाए वो। वैसे सब आपको जानते हैं, जस्ट फॉर द रिकॉर्ड। और उसके बाद फिर आप हमें बताएं कि सत्संग में आपका आना कैसे हुआ। आप जिस लैंग्वेज में कंफर्टेबल है उस लैंग्वेज में बोल सकते हैं।
You see, I'll speak first about how I came to satsang. You see, I had been suffering from a stomach problem ever since I was born. And a continuous search was on for somebody or something that could cure me. I had a perpetual stomach problem. Then I had a broker by the name of Nagin Bhai. He's a Jain. He used to come very often. On 2-3 different occasions, he told me, he said, I'll take you to some Jain Baba, and they have miraculous powers, and they will be able to cure you. But somehow, I never made it. Then one fine day, he told me, he says, you know Ashok Vyar? I said, I don't know. He said, you know, when we come from Kamla Nagar to your office, in those days my office was at Moti Nagar. We come via the underpass, and if you just turn right, that is Ashok Vyar. Oh, I said, it's very close. So he said, can we go sometimes? I believe you will find a cure. I said, but who are they? He said, there is a sadhu there, and they are from Swaminarayan. So I said, I have never heard about them. So he said, no, it's better if we can go once. I said, fine, we'll go. So we fixed a time. And it so happened that I did come. I was not too sure whether I would come or not come, though I had told him, yes, I'll come. But this time I really made it. So at that time, Guruji had that small temple in that house. 103, I think the number was. So we came there, Guruji was there. So I related to him my problem. He said, you see, I won't be able to do much, but my Guru will come and he'll definitely cure you. So I said, fine. So he said, my Guru will come from Bombay and I will convey to you, and then you come and you will get well. I said, okay. And if I mistake not, even Bacharaj was there. At least I know that our broker Nagin Bhai and Bacharaj, they worked together. What was their formulation of work together, I do not know. But I know that they were accomplices in work. So I came. I sat down with Guruji for some time, and as I just told you, he said, my Guru will come and then I shall call you. I said, okay. But even at that time, I was not too sure whether I would really come or not. But when Kakaji came, I had never seen him before. When Kakaji came, that I got a call, and then I did come. Kakaji was lying down on one, something like a bed cum sofa, and I met him. I was introduced to him. I knew he is a very holy person. And he said, I'll give you medicine and you will get cured. So I said, but I don't need medicines. I have tried medicines all my life and I don't find any cure. So I need some blessings. So he says, no, you will get cured, you don't worry. You just have the medicine, I will send from Bombay. So I said, very well. So I bid goodbye and I was on my way back to my office. Thereafter, I never met Kakaji again. I spoke to him on telephone. He was in the US and I was also there at that time. Spoke a few times on telephone, but never met. But I used to come sometimes to Guruji, also at lunchtime, because my office was so close, and somehow I found the food to be quite suitable for me. Vegetarian, I was not a vegetarian at that time, but their vegetarian food I thought is something, different, unusual, and especially since it was prasad, so I had a little charm of coming and eating lunch with him. So I came a few times, and thereafter somehow a trend just continued that I kept coming. One fine day, Guruji telephoned me. He says that our master, Divine Kakaji, has left his body, and will you come to Bombay with us? So I said no, because at that time really I didn't know much. I did not even consider when I said no, that I don't want to go. Had I known what I know today, I might have said, yes, I'll come. But at that time I said, no, I won't come. So when you come back, you let me know. The Guruji came back. I came to meet him, and I found him to be in very low spirits. Low as low can be. So I was a little put back in my thoughts as to how is it possible that he is such a sadhu and there is a setback due to somebody's demise. I was not so fully knowledgeable, and I would confess that I did not have those emotions of understanding what a master and disciple relationship can be, at whatever high level even. But somehow, I do not know how and why, it's rather difficult to explain. But I felt, that it is better that I should stand by him as much as I can. So I began visiting him quite frequently, as and when possible for me. The distance was not too much. I never came from home. I came from my office. And it took me 15 minutes. At those days was, the traffic was not much. I think the year was something like 84, 85. It never took me much time to come here. So I kept coming. A different relationship began to form. Then there was one function here at this very spot in the premises that we are now. So there was some foundation to be laid. So he had told me, will you come? I said, okay, if you so desire, I will come. So I came, and I found that other sadhus were also there. I think it was Swamiji and Pappaji was there, and Jyotiben and some others were also here. I did not know them. It was only later that I came to know them. So that ceremony got completed. Then I was on my way as usual, and I kept visiting Guruji. And thereafter, a different type of relationship began developing with him. Because somehow I thought that at least I have met a very good holy man who has no bad intentions. He doesn't ask me for anything. He has no bad intentions. That was my primary feeling. And also, he is free. Whenever I tell him I'm coming, he doesn't act high and mighty and say, no, don't come now and come later, or I'm busy. He doesn't do all those things. Because one hears a lot about sadhus and, holy spiritual people being busy or confined to their own thoughts. That sort of thing was non-existent with him. So I kept coming. And after that, I think it's a long story, I'll cut it short. This temple was built. I need not speak about that. This temple was built. And Guruji gave up that place and came to reside here. Along with whatever sense he had, he came to reside here. So that made things a little convenient for, I think, all around, all satsangis, even myself. And by that time, my family had also started coming. So it was more or less at that time, at that period, I'm talking about those days, it was more like a picnic. Where going to the temple was more like a picnic. It continued. And once I had reminded Guruji that Kakaji had, during one of his telephone talks with me, told me that I will take you to a Hanuman temple somewhere in Gujarat. It's a miraculous temple, he had told me. So Guruji said, yes, there is a temple in Sarangpur. And of course, if Kakaji has said, he will definitely see to it that, if not himself, somebody takes you. By that time, without my knowledge and without my persuasion, I didn't pursue the subject. I just left it at that, because I know that Kakaji had left his body, and I didn't pursue the subject at all. One fine day, Guruji told me that we are going to Haridham on a tour, and His Excellency Swamiji will be there in Haridham, and he will take you to Sarangpur. I said, fine, that will be great. We went to a few places, and then we went to Haridham. From there, Swamiji took me with himself in his own car and took me to this temple in Sarangpur. He took me to a lot of places, and Sarangpur was one of them, where I went to this Hanuman temple. Of course, I am sure that all of you know the importance of that temple. Whether that importance exists today or not, I do not know. But to my mind, it was an important place, spiritually And for me, Hanumanji had a very special place in my life, even today. So we went there, we had a 7-day trip. And at that time, being with sadhus for 7 days was something new to us. It was rather, I wouldn't say it was new to us, it was rather strange. Because from one atmosphere of life to a totally different atmosphere of life, it was quite strange and unique by itself. And we were never used to this Gujarati type of food. But we carried on. 1 week is not a long time. And we came back in 1 week. And there, of course, the new situation was that we had met Swamiji, seen Haridham, seen Sokhra, seen Vidyanagar, went to Sahib's place, and such like, other places. So that was our first experience of connections through Guruji with other saints. So that phase got over in another way. Our connections with these Swamiji and Pappaji developed. Whenever they came to Delhi, of course, we visited them and offered our obeisance. At that time, I had a farm where Pappaji used to come, I wouldn't say very often, but quite often, with his sisters. Swamiji came. I wonder if Sahib came, but no, I think he did not come. Guruji would come sometimes. And it was another spiritual picnic. But by that time we knew everybody quite well. I won't say we knew them deeply. Even today, I dare not say from the inner core of my heart that I know them deeply. Because to know such divine people so deeply, I feel, and I really feel it from the bottom of my heart, that one has himself to be on that path of divinity to know their divinity. Otherwise, it is just a surface feeling. If today I say I know Guruji as a divine person, I am saying it, I mean it, but how deeply do I mean it? Or do I know what I am saying by saying that he is a divine person? Really, I cannot. Because you see, that spark doesn't exist in me. That exists in Guruji or Swamiji or others, Pappaji, but that doesn't exist in me. What I am saying is about them is more external. What is to the visual eye or to the ordinary thinking man. But the situation kept on developing. And even today I find it a developing situation. More and more people from connected with the satsang met us, we met them, we had sittings together, came to know each other better. And it so happened that wherever we went, even by ourselves, as a family, or me when I went on business, there was some other divine person to meet. It just so happened, That's why the thought process always remained towards them, which has been a great help. It was a great help and it remains a great help. And Delhi, Guruji was always here. You see, as far as Guruji is concerned, I've always found him a very nice person, very friendly, very casual, unexpected of a sadhu like him. I cannot really discuss what we felt about his divinity or his spiritual success or his following, but at least as a family unit, me particularly, I would talk about myself, I knew that okay, if there is any trouble at any time, in whatever sphere of life, could be mental, could be physical, that yes, we have a person to look up to. Look up to from a point of view of spiritual consolation, a moral help, and a definite source which would not misguide us. You see, today's date, or even yesteryears I would say, not yesterday, in yesteryears, there was always a feeling that these gurus and sadhus are likely to misguide you. But here, somehow, over a period of time, knowing Guruji, we felt more confident about him than about our own selves. Sometimes a thought lingered in my mind. And I do speak to myself. I don't know if others do it or not. And my thought would always be, Indru, what would you do if such a thing happened? And I would think, no, you better don't decide. You go to Guruji and see what he has to say. Meaning, I had faith and reliability in him, a factor which I recognize even till today, which I think is probably not attained or achievable by a majority of the population, not only in our country, outside also. To find a person in whom you have enough faith to be open with and to internally consider him to be more reliable than your own self. You see, my own opinion always was that I can fool myself. But you see, I cannot fool him. My mind can take me for a ride, but he won't. So, that feeling of faith and reliability existed then and even exists today, which I feel is probably God's grace or sadhu's grace, or whatever you may deem it to be. And that continues, which I think is one of the great benefits to us in our life. So you see, our relationship continues. Then I met, during this period, I met his divinity, Pappaji. And somehow I developed a great regard for him and accepted him as my true master, spiritually. He never spoke much, I think, which is known by all. He never spoke much. His ashram is a ladies' ashram. So my access was restricted to him and a few elderly sisters there, also holy sisters. But I developed a very good rapport with him and also had a high regard for him till he gave up his body. And naturally, it exists even today. But my connection to Pappaji also came through Guruji. When Pappaji was about to leave his body, I was there. I had gone there and stayed there in Vidyanagar for a few days. Because Pappaji was not well and his whole room was turned into more like an ICU unit. And I was there always outside his room. A few days before this happened, I was in Vidyanagar and Pappaji had stopped speaking. He never spoke because he had a physical problem. But he definitely pointed out to me, which I understood. Now somebody asked me, how did he tell you? Well, I cannot really say, but I understood that if you have any problems in life, you go to Guruji or you go to Jyotiben. And that's the way I have kept things up to now. And even now I have a close rapport with Guruji. And I have a close rapport with Vidyanagar, though I don't go there so often because I have my own problems of traveling. But otherwise, I have a close rapport, which is, I think, again, God's grace. With Swamiji, I have a very, very close rapport. And I hope it continues that way. Same with Jaspai Sahib. Now, if you have any questions to ask me, you're welcome.
First of all, I think you are a unique person in the satsang who probably shares the same level of rapport with almost all the divinities. May it be Swamiji, may it be Sahib, may it be Dinkar Uncle, may it be Guruji, Pappaji, everyone. And even amongst the lady saints, may it be Didi, may it be Jyotiben, Premben, Anandi Didi. So, this is a unique feature or a trait in your personality that we really admire. We would really like to learn from you what is it, how you have been able to develop this particular rapport without any distinction or differentiation amongst anyone.
You see, if I have to give you a very honest answer, I would give the maximum credit for this to Guruji. Because had it not been for his guidance, I may have looked at Kakaji or Pappaji or Swamiji as different personalities with different traits, with different thoughts. But it was Guruji who always instilled this in my mind, in thought and in deed, that they are all the same. And fortunately, they all followed Maharaj and Guranitanand Swami. So that was an additional benefit in my thinking, that they are followers of the same God. And Guruji is so clear in pointing out to me that they are the same. There is no difference between Kakaji, Pappaji and Swamiji and Sahib. So it somehow developed internally and it got fixed there. So even today I look at them at the same level, though there is a bit of differentiation that Pappaji has been, was and is also now my master. But not that I feel differently about the others. I know that they are basically the same. And if I go to one or to the other, materially or spiritually, it does not make a difference. That is what is the truth. And once again, I would insist to tell you that the great factor in this was Guruji. Because otherwise he could have told me, because Kakaji has been his master. I had a brief darshan of Kakaji. Most of the teachings here in this temple are with reference to Kakaji. But Guruji has never told me. I do admire Kakaji, same with Swamiji, same with Pappaji. But again, in reply to your question, I would say the great, the great effort or the thinking goes to Guruji. That he put me on a level where I felt no difference between them. And it exists even today. I don't see them as different personalities. They are the divine forms with different looks, even with different thoughts. I would never say Pappaji thought the same way as Kakaji, or Swamiji would be thinking the same way. No, I know they think in different ways, but somehow it has never pinched me. I have never felt that, just Pappaji told me last week on a X matter, and then today Swamiji is talking of something different. No, I never felt like that. I said, after all, they are individuals, but they belong to the same God, and they are of the same divine level. So why should I feel each person's own thinking and characteristics? And after all, they are from human bodies and human intellect. Whatever divinity they have developed is another matter. And it never really pinched me. And it so remains today also.
What you are saying is very true, because we have also seen that what you explained, what has been instilled in you by Guruji, but your behavior is like that. That is why all these divine personalities also are reciprocating it in the same manner. We don't see any differentiation. When they are talking to you, they are interacting with you, they are also interacting like they would be interacting to anyone within their own group.
True.
So it is your probably purity of your sentiments which the divine knows, and it reciprocates.
See, there is an additional factor to this. You see, these Swaminarayan temples, all of them, I guess even those which are not belonging to this Yogi Divine Society or Swamiji or Pappaji, most of the conduct is in Gujarati. Gujarati is the main language. I am a Sindhi, and Hindi is not my very strong subject. But yet I have seen that overall they don't make any differentiation. That, oh, he is not a Gujarati. They know very well I cannot read and write Gujarati, nor can I understand it so deeply. Though, fortunately, with good luck and God's grace, I can understand a fair lot of Gujarati. But I cannot say that I understand Gujarati like a Gujarati. Reading and writing is absolutely out of my sphere. It's absolutely out of my sphere. But yet they haven't treated me differently. That has been a very strong additional point. In me being able to accept this whole system the way I've been able to do, because they have accepted me. Had they not accepted me and treated me differently as an alien, I don't know how things would have been.
I have a question. When you came for the first time and met Guruji, you said that you were not very keen, you were not sure yourself whether you would come or not, but you did come. What was your first impression of the meeting, after meeting Guruji? You were, because after that also you continued to come.
Yeah, you see, my first thing was to be very truthful. I'll be very frank and truthful with you. My first thing was that, okay, here is a sadhu who is saying that you come and meet my master. I can't help you. You see, it's very difficult for anybody to say, no, I can't help you, but my master will. So that was one thing that I liked. Then I said, okay, if he has so much faith in his master, maybe I will find some cure. So I came. Then I met Kakaji. I had his darshan for a few minutes. Then left. Then, as I told you, I had 2-3 brief exchanges on the telephone. But when I came back from USA after that, and Kakaji had left his body, at that time I found that somehow for this sadhu, that is Guruji, I seem to have a very weak spot in my system. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had a very weak spot. So I said, no, here is one sadhu who is very clear about things. And I found him emotional. Though I feel I am not an emotional person, but maybe everybody is emotional. When I think deeply, that I feel everybody is emotional. Maybe I am less. Guruji was very emotional, and he still remains very emotional. And I somehow had a very soft spot for him. You call it a soft spot, a soft corner, or a soft feeling for him. So I kept continuing to come, and thereby I developed a situation.
Can you probably identify how this soft spot came about? Or
I don't know, it is maybe his looks, his eyes, his way of doing dhun. There was something about his first impression, physical form. He is so small. His eyes are not in accordance with the size of his body. This is what I feel. His eyes are large and they are captivating. And overall, somehow, I felt that he is an honest person. He'll be frank with me. He'll be frank with me.
That you told us in the very first meeting,
Yes.
you were impressed by his honesty.
Yes,
That, well, I cannot do it, my
Yeah.
master will do it.
yes,
That struck you.
yes.
That actually,
And you see, more than that, somehow there was some attraction which I cannot describe in words. Even till today,
was that attraction you felt right from the beginning?
from the beginning, but more so now. You see, I won't say my attraction to him in the beginning was as much as it is now. It's not.
It has intensified over a period of time.
Over a period of time, as I came to know him more and more and more, thereby, please don't misunderstand me. I am not saying that I know him very well, because I don't think I can claim that. I cannot claim within even my own mind, no, let people say what they want, I know him very well. No. I don't think anybody in this satsang can really, truly, truthfully say that they know him very well. Because we are not at that level. We don't belong to that strata.
Swamiji and Pappaji, during the course of your relationship which grew with Guruji, can you remember when was it for the first time when you felt that Pappaji is the true master for you? Any experience you went through?
Yes.
How you felt it?
Yes, yes, yes. See, I had gone to a function in Vidyanagar along with Guruji. I didn't know Pappaji at all. I had met him at darshan once, but like face to face, I had never met him. You understand when I'm saying face to face? I knew him by face. I would recognize him anywhere. But to sit opposite him and talk to him had never happened. But during that function, after attending that big sabha and what have you, during these functions, we came back to his room. I was also there. So he called me and he said, "You sit down." There were others too. But then he said, "You sit down." Now that really, initially it surprised me. Because you see, I was one amongst so many. And to him, all people are equal. And he did not know much about me. I'm not talking about spiritually, but otherwise he didn't know me. And then he made me sit down, and in a great way, which I can't describe, because I don't know how it happened, but it gave me a lot of comfort. I felt a very soothing influence on my whole system. And I recollected so many things that Guruji had spoken about him. Again, I'm coming back to the root of this whole thing. That was Guruji. But I felt a lot of soothing influence within me. And when we came away from Vidyanagar, I thought that I have met somebody whom I can probably feel very close to internally, because Pappaji never spoke much. He would make gestures, but he never spoke much. But this is what I felt within myself. And then with each meeting, it went on increasing. But at the same time, Pappaji himself, he never liked to hear a wrong word about any sadhu, or for that matter, any satsangi. He would absolutely throw such a thought out of the window. He never tried to attract me or tell me anything about Swamiji or Guruji or Sahib or any such thing. He never did that. Not even an iota of a thing he told me. And always in my mind was what Guruji had told me about Pappaji and about his unique spiritual approach. But it went on growing. So that's how it is.
Like you had this unique experience with Pappaji, sitting physically in front of him and like that. But what we have seen is that you have very equally strong emotions for Kakaji also.
Yes, true.
So that again is probably because of Guruji.
Yes.
But have you at any point of time experienced anything?
The source, as I told you in the very beginning, I came to this in way between, and even now, the source of it all is Guruji.
I was just wanting to know, did you have any experience of Kakaji Maharaj also, either at Samadhi or in the temple or
No,
place?
no. I will be very wrong in claiming something. I would be very, very wrong. Because I had just a darshan of few minutes without knowing his importance. I only knew he is Guruji's guru, and that's about it. That's about it. More than that was only hearsay. Heard from here, heard from there, heard from Guruji or pravachans, but I had never met him, really.
This experience that you had of Pappaji's spiritual experience, that was before your operation. I think you had a heart bypass.
No, that was, heart bypass was later.
Was later.
Later.
This was much before that.
Yes, yes.
And now that Pappaji, after he left the physical body, these people, they don't live, they continue to live in their divine form. Have there been any other experiences?
On and off, yes. But nothing that I would really like to relate to. On and off, yes. Again, I know that, you see, when in English, as they say, if push comes to shove, I know that I'm not alone. There's Guruji, there's Pappaji, there's Swamiji. Pappaji is not a forgotten soul or a forgotten Guru. He is there.
We have learnt of a particular episode after Kakaji left his physical body, that Guruji was over here alone, and in one of the meetings which was organized for the Shraddhanjali Sabha, there you had also come, and there you had yourself volunteered to help Guruji for making the temple or something like that.
Yes, that is true.
So at that point of time, it was only out of that emotional connect that you had with Guruji, or?
No, I found him a very nice person. I found him to be a very nice person.
And you felt that you have to stand with him in this.
Yes. That was my internal feeling. You see, by saying internal feeling, I cannot probably convey to you what was my thought. Should I say my internal feeling, or it was my internal desire, or I was being internally driven by forces other than known to me? Anything could have been possible. Even today I feel anything could have been possible. I do not know. I do not know how the supramental forces work. But I definitely had that feeling on a human platform that here is a person who is very good, and I should be with him if I can, within my own compass of feelings.
What has been the catalyst in bringing about this change in your personality from being extremely violent to now a very decent and docile person?
A few things. One thing is faith. Faith above all else. You see, as a child, I had faith in Hanuman Chalisa. But that is also, there are two Hanuman paths. One is Veer Hanuman and one is Das Hanuman. Das Hanuman I didn't like. Veer Hanuman I loved much. But here, being in the temple, Guruji speaking about so many things, in the pravachans and general lectures, that violence is not a way of life. Same with Swamiji, same with Pappaji. Pappaji didn't like violence at all. In fact, he didn't like a lot of things, which he told me rather bluntly. So I began to think, naturally, I have not been a duffer, so I can think well. Well, I thought it's high time that to survive in life, one has to give up violence. Violence in thought, and violence in deed, and violence in imagination. See, suppose you are giving up violence, but you are still imagining violence, it is as bad. And if you indeed commit violence, that is the worst. So this realization came rather slowly, but it did come. And now I know that I am not a violent person. I would rather get beaten than try to beat somebody. And that is by association. By association. By association with whom? I am not talking about the satsang only. Satsang, of course. But for me, a major part is played by Guruji, Pappaji, Swamiji, Sahib, and such like personalities. That violence is not a way of life. Have faith in God. What you cannot do, He can. You have limitations. God has no limitations. You see, I would have limited strength, limited force, limited number of people to depend on. But with God, that is an unlimited sphere. Even the same exists with the Swami. A real Swami, as I have seen a few here, the same for them. They have no limitations. They can do what they want if they wish to do. If they wish to do, they can do what they want. They can arrange 1,000 people, or they may arrange none and let you get beaten. Maybe for a purpose. So gradually, I don't say it took me one day, but it took a long time. But gradually.
During this process of realization and change, did you come across any?
No, realization of what?
Realization that violence is not the
Yeah, violence is no good.
No good, yeah. And you trying to adopt it. Were there any experiences which either reinforced that belief or?
You see, there were daily experiences. You see, if you have been a violent person, then there are daily experiences. And to back down is very difficult. But back down only comes with faith. Back down only comes with faith. You cannot back down from anything in life. Back down can come only from faith. Faith in a personality, and that personality has to be divine. Otherwise, also, it is not possible.
So, any experiences you had of this kind which you can share that you
Look here. You see, in so many cases, I back down. Innumerable cases, daily, on a daily basis. But one thing I developed, which I not mentioned earlier, you see, I was looking always for a miracle cure to everything. To all problems of life, I would look for a miracle cure. One key to fit all. And I found this mantra jap to be unique, where I need not know Gujarati, I need not know Hindi. To know what I know English is all right. And this mantra jap is very good. And with me, the difficulty was that I couldn't do this mantra jap. How to do Swaminarayan, 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 Swaminarayan for a long time. It just won't come. People, I don't know what they feel, it's very easy. But for me, it won't come. So one day I was in my office in Bombay. I had an office at Nariman Point. And I was very tired, very, very tired. And the Bapu, Mohinder Bapu, by the way, he called. So he said, "Uncle, if you are free for some time, you come to Tardev." So I went there. I was lying down, felt a little comfortable. Then he said, "Today you try, do some dhun." So he said, 5 minutes karte. His 5 minutes are like, just went on and on and on. But gradually I felt I could do it. And from that day till today, I do it. And I find it convenient. I find it helpful. I find it friendly. And I have a lot of faith in it. I have a lot of faith in it. Faith, as you can describe it in your best way. I have a lot of faith in it. Whatever your problem, whatever, mental, physical, medical, do dhun. It's a one key which fits all.
Master key.
Master key. Of course, with the remembrance of a sadhu. Without a sadhu, this mantra jap is also flat. Like a soda you bottle open, there is no gas. It's a flat soda. Same is with mantra jap. I have tried it both ways. I am telling you out of experience. I have tried doing it without the remembrance of a sadhu. I have tried doing it with the remembrance of a sadhu. And I know that doing jap without remembering a live, living sadhu, living or one who has lived in my own mind and heart, it is pointless to do jap. It's of no use.
You came in contact, you came to Guruji to find a cure for your stomach problem.
Yeah.
Did that get solved later?
No, it never got solved, not even till today.
I see.
Yeah.
So this is a surprising situation where you came for a particular objective.
Yeah, but it never happened.
Never happened, but still you got increasingly
Yeah.
attached.
Yeah, that's true. Because I found other things. Because I found other things.
And other things is basically those divinity and the divine experiences.
Yes. You see, being sure that there is somebody other than my family or friends who are there in case I need them, and in case I don't need them, yet they keep watch. Even when I don't need them, they keep watch. Where can you find such a situation? This is a rarity of life. If I had to write it down, I would underline it 5 times. This is a rarity of life.
What this is rarest amongst rare.
No. It is even beyond that.
Beyond that.
It is a rarity.
As you know, this year we are going to celebrate the Centenary of Kakaji and
Yes,
Pappaji.
yes,
And simultaneously we are also celebrating the 80th birthday of Param Pujya Guruji.
yes.
And culmination of about 50 years of his journey in Delhi. So on this momentous occasion, would you like to share or give any direction to the youth who are attached to Guruji?
My only one direction to anybody, those following Guruji or not following Guruji. Today, anybody I meet, and if he is a seeker, if he is a non-seeker, better not to speak. But if he is a seeker, I would say whatever your fancies of life, each person has his or her own fancies. You have different thoughts from me, I know that. Basharaj has totally different thoughts from both of us, I know. Same with these 2-3 gentlemen sitting there, they have different thoughts. But if one seeks, I would say, remember a sadhu, a person who has accomplished something in life, a sadhu, and do the mantra jap. Beyond that, I don't know anything. That's all I know. I haven't read a lot of scriptures. The only Hindu scripture I have read fully is the Mahabharata and Ramayana 80%. I have read number of times. But I say, forget all that. Keep that aside. If you know a sadhu and have faith in him, just take that mantra from him and recite it. All the answers will follow. As if a whole puzzle is being sorted out for you, on a blackboard. That's my simple advice to people. Nothing complicated about it.
As long as the destination, the path is clear, there's no need to go to any different route.
Absolutely. And more so, you see, as I mentioned to you, Pappaji, when he was ready to leave his body, he guided me without speaking, mind you. He could not speak. He had gone absolutely silent because he could not speak medically. He could not speak. So he guided me to Guruji. So why should I, out of my own whims and fancies, find some other deviants? I don't think there would be a greater fool.
Would you like to share something, because you have till now shared your feelings and your views for Guruji and various divine entities. But what we have seen is that everyone in your family is equally attached to Guruji or to Swamiji or Pappaji. That again is something which is very unique.
Yes, true, that's true.
And we for one feel, I don't know whether we are right or wrong, that this primarily is because of you having set a benchmark or set an example for them to follow.
True. But again, I would come back to my first situation. The source of all this is Guruji, not me. He is the source. It would be wrong of me to even take the slightest credit for it. He is the source. I would say it 100,000 times that he is the source. I am not.
That's true, but would you be knowing of any experiences of others with Guruji which
Let them answer for themselves. They are all grown-up human beings with different thought waves and different ideologies of their own.
I think that could be it. Thank you very much, Uncle.
Welcome.
It was a very learning experience for us, and
Thank you.
sharing the
But there's nothing new for you to learn. You have been here all the time. And in fact, it is people like you I look up to, You make so many bhajans.
That is true, but still what I learned was the total focus on Guruji.
Yes, that's it.
That's it.
I believe in it.
Yeah.
That's why I can say it. I can say it again and again. It's pointless thinking about X, Y, Z, nothing. Better stick to one thing. Everything is pale, yellow, compared to the effulgence of a mantra jap with the remembrance of a realized saint. Nothing beyond that. That is it. Whatever your problems, just sit down and pray. Of course, as I told you, the important highlights of that, remember the saint.